Alright, what's going on guys? It's GSR here. So I wanted to teach you guys how you can use your minus frames and your plus frames correctly in Mortal Kombat 11. So, or any fighting game just in general, to just be exact. So when you are plus on block, you want to subtract that with the next startup time with the next number that you decide to use. When you are minus on block, you want to add that to the next startup time with the next number that you decide to use. Right? So say for example, Gears had went for a double down one, right? So if Gears does this, he's -6 on block and his startup time is 6 frames. So when he goes for the second down one, if you add those minus frames to the next startup time of the next number that he decides to use, which is a second down one, if you do 6 plus -6, that will come out at 12 frames. So Gears has access to a 12 frame down one when he goes for the second one, if you read that he's going to do that. So since we're using Jackie Briggs, aka Jax's clone, as you can clearly see, our back one's not going to work. It's way slower and it's not faster than Gears' second down one, which happens to be 12 frames. We can't go for any highs or nothing like that. We have to go for strictly mids in a situation like this, and we need to find a fast mid. So as you can clearly see here, we have a forward one that is actually 11 frames, which is 1 frame faster than 12 frames, which is Gears' second down one, because he's going for like an Abari attempt. So we can also go for a down one if we want to. This can be our own counter poke right here. What else is there? This is not going to work. It's not faster than 12 frames, and obviously nobody wants to trade, so we can't go for a 4-2 neither, because it's 1 frame slower. So that's not going to work. We cannot go for that because that's a high, but it does have the correct startup time. We can't go for this because it's too slow in startup. We can go for this because this is 9 frames. We can go for this because this is 9 frames. We can't go for this. We can't. We can go for this, but it's not something that you want. You want to get damage, basically. So I'm going to say that we're not going to go for that. As you can clearly see, we're not trying to trade with Gears because, as you can clearly see, Roundhouse Kick has the same startup time as Gears' second down one, which is 12 frames. So hold on. See that? See how we trade it? So that's not something that we want. Down 4, we can use this as a counter poke if we want it. Preferably the down 3 or the down 1. Preferably the down 1 has a faster startup time to beat this out, and a decent amount of hit advantage. Enough for Jackie Briggs to enforce some type of pressure or strike throw mind game or 50-50 or whatever the case may be. Yeah, we have quite a few options here. So if Gears does this, right, keep in mind his second down one is no longer 6 frames, it's 12 frames on startup, because we took the minus frames and we added it to the next startup time of the next number that the player or Gears is, trying to use. Like, he's trying to use a second down one. So since we know that, right, if we read that he's going to do that, you see what I mean? Like, now we can go for like, whatever, fancy combo that we want to, just in general. And you kind of get the idea, right? Like we can stop this, right? Now, we're gonna switch roles here, and we're gonna go with Jackie Briggs, right? So if Jackie Briggs was to go for her 1-1, right? She's +2 on block. So technically, she has Gears in a frame trap, and you guys are probably feeling a little perplexed trying to comprehend where I'm going with this, but I'll probably make a separate video talking about why she has him in a frame trap. But right now, I'm not going to do that. So you can clearly see she's +1 on block. We know that her forward 1, which is an advancing mid, is 11 frames. We know for a fact that her forward 3 is what? Which is an advancing mid, is 9 frames. So if we do 9 minus +2, because she can move those frames before the opponent can, this will come out at what? 7 frames, I believe it is. So you do 9 minus +2. You shred off like 2 frames, so that's 7. So it'll be a 7 frame normal, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do this right here, right? So I'm going to go for a standing 1, and you're going to notice that we traded. If I time it correctly, yeah, I didn't time this correctly with Jackie. Hopefully that was timed. Almost had it. There we go. See that? So this comes out as 7 frames. Now normally this would get beat out by a 7 frame standing 1 because it's faster by 2 frames, right? So in a situation like this, right, And keep in mind, Gears can't backdash. But I'm going to talk about that probably in another video. If you guys want me to actually lab with Jackie Briggs and use her in actual online matches, that's up to you guys. I'll leave that decision up to you. But as you can clearly see, right, we trade, right? That's not something that we want as the Jackie Briggs player, right? What we can do is we can beat this out by either one, flawless blocking, or obviously just going for our own down one, which is 1 frame faster than her mid. You see that? So this is just a small example, and I hope you guys learned something from this, because I wanted to try and show as much detail as possible of how this can actually be used in an actual game. Like if Gears was to go for like, I'll show you guys like one more example, just to further my point. If Gears was to go for like his 2-4-1 combo string, it's very common for Gears players to go for a down 1 because it has decent range. Not only that, it's 6 frames on startup, so he will have access to a 6 frame, well, a 7 frame normal, excuse me, not a 6 frame. So if that's the case, we as Jackie Briggs have a 7 frame normal as well, and as you can clearly see here, we both trade. So sorry for mixing up my words a little bit, or whatever the case may be, but hopefully you guys learned something from this. If you guys want me to do more like tutorial videos and stuff like that, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys want me to talk about, and I'll try my best to explain it, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.